And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 23 Volt here for some more Shadowverse Bonanza. So from the last video, I covered Forestcraft, showing all the cards that were leaving. So pretty much what I did was, it's essentially all the highlighted, again, Forest Rebellion cards, since those are the ones that are going. So in this video, we're going to go over all the sword ones that are leaving and all the sword cards that are coming in, specifically for rotation. So again, since it is unfortunate that we're going to be saying goodbye to a lot of Machina cards, but I guess that's what the whole thing with Rebellion was about. And before we go into all the card details, let's see what decks swords have been seeing. So, from the list of stuff that we have here, we have Aggro Sword, which is essentially just kind of like a pseudo Levin-ish sword kind of thing. Machina Sword, ever since they got a buff for themselves. Evolution Swordcraft is always just going to be strong. Machina, Levin, Evolution, Machina, Evolution, Aggro, Ambush. Okay, this was a fucking deck and a half, by the way, this thing. Alright, but yeah, so really you were seeing a lot of Aggro, Machina, Evo cards. For, I think, this purpose, I think I might be focusing on Evo Sword in terms of the archetype that's still currently strong. I will keep in mind I'll note how strong aggro, or some of the new cards that are coming in will work with aggro decks, and most likely Machina Sword might be getting a big hit because, again, most of their cards from Rebellion are Machina cards, and, you know, they're going to be gone. So I'm just going to put this out there. I am a sword main, so this is going to be very, very important to me. I haven't seen anything besides the gold and legendaries, and which I will have a lot to talk about the legendary cards in the new pack, because it is a good and bad thing at the same time, more so with the latter, if I'm going to be honest. But you know what? I'm a diehard sword fan, so don't mind me. I also decided to change the music to actually suit the class, so we've got, I don't know if you can hear it well, but we've got the Swordcraft battle theme in the background, as opposed to Fire Emblem, which essentially didn't really make a whole bunch of sense to begin with. Anyway, so a lot of the cards that were leaving... Oh, fuck. I need to do this properly. Come on. So, the cards that are leaving are Ivory Swords Dance. That is getting rotated out. That is a very big card that is going to be lost. This is essentially used in every fucking deck. Like, so many decks use like 3 ofs or 2 ofs of this. What was it? Leisha? Yeah, Leisha. I was like, was that Ladica? Leisha is the name. Okay, I know it's there, but I was like trying to make sure I pronounced it correct, because I was gonna say Lekia or something like that. But Leisha is also going to be rotated out, which is a big sad. I actually love this card, but I can't do this into Swordblader anymore. That is gone. Sword Flash Panther. Again, that was pretty niche. This was pretty cool, but this was more of a take 2 card than anything. A lot of people thought that it was going to be, support Evo Sword, but again, for its 5 cost, this was way better than this, because if you had a 1 cost follower, then you can get your free Evo, which this you needed something on the board that was already buffed, and that was pretty hard to do, especially when if you had it at the start of the game. Dual Blade Fury essentially just is now preventing any stupid ambush trickery. So Ambush Sword kind of got hit there. Troya didn't really see a whole lot of play. I do like this whole officers or commander cards in your hand effect. We do have more better versions of that in the game, but I'll go into that later. A lot of good Machina cards like Cyber Cannoneer, as well as the much better version of Johan. They're going to be gone, which is a big sad for me, as well as Stampeding Fortress. This card, when this first came out, I loved playing Machina Sword, man. It was fun. Azord, again, it's one of those cards where it's like, it's not really good. I mean, the Accelerate 2 was okay, especially if you got the Bane version, in my opinion, was much better than anything else. But the 7 play point card wasn't really that good, in my opinion. So, again, not too bad of a loss there. Mecha Blade Soldier was much better ever since it got its rework. Yeah, it's just more accessible now, especially since it's in early Evo turns, which is fantastic. But yeah, I would say that these are the cards that are going to be leaving. So goodbye to them, and let's move on. Again, in my opinion, Machina Sword obviously got the biggest hit there, as well as Ambush Sword as well. So you won't be seeing that niche anymore. And I think there's a lot of new aggro-y kind of cards. Well, people will always find aggro in Swords somehow or some way. Anyway, let's talk about the first sword. Okay, can I just say this is this is the coolest Swordcraft fucking card in existence. Like, I wish I could just zoom in on this card, but I don't want to bother because again, too much of a hassle. I know I could just do it up here, but fuck it, who cares? 3 play point 3/3. So like the Forest Craft, in my opinion, this is like a standard stat line. The first thing we have to keep in mind is that it has an enhanced 7, so it transforms as follows. So the Forest Craft one, banish the follower to give you a spell that gives you an alternate win condition. This thing enhances, which transforms it, which I don't know if that means anything, but again, it's just another way of like, hey, you have an option. You can either play it as a 3 play point 3/3, or for 7 costs, you can do something else entirely, which that is the problem. For 3 play points and randomly getting one of these effects is kind of eh. I mean, the cool thing about it is that if you're going first and you play this turn 3 and your opponent has no way of dealing with it, you do get 2 of the effects. The worst case scenario for that is if you get ward twice. So if you get ward twice, big sad. If you get anything else, then it's actually pretty okay. 1 second, I'm getting a call. Okay, so what the fuck was I saying at this card? Alright, yeah, basic. I don't like it as much as the other card because on Evolve, it just gets full stats, same effect. But the kicker with this card is its enhance effect. Transform this follower to this behemoth of a fucking... I don't know. For those who don't understand the wall of text, let me just give it to you like this. 7 play point 8/16. So already, those are bonker stats, which means that it's going to rely on its effect. First off, it can't attack. So it's just sitting there. Which, again, not a big problem, but it is a big follower that the opponent doesn't have to deal with, but it's the extra effect that it has to deal with afterward. At the end of your turn, randomly deal X damage to an enemy or another ally, and then Y damage to this follower. So it's going to do 8 damage, unless it was buffed or nerfed, which in most likely you might even evolve it so that it becomes a 10 attack. So you deal 10 damage maximum because of evolve to another enemy or another ally. Now the thing is, this thing can hit your leader. So that's that's the big concern, and that's not even the worst part. It deals X. It also in terms of Y damage as well. X equals this follower's attack. So it takes damage based on the damage it deals to whatever it hits. So for example, if this thing kills a 2/2 body, then it takes 2 damage. If it hits a leader, whether the enemy's or yours, it takes 0 damage. But the real kicker is that this thing does it twice. So there's way too much gambling involved with this card, which is going to make it a very good meme. But I really hope that this is the only extreme version, because that is a lot of damage, especially to the enemy leader. 10 damage. Okay, we'll be more realistic. 8 damage twice is not fun to deal with. 16 damage, because again, this is at turn 7. By this point in the game, maybe one of the leaders is probably at 14 defense. This thing is going to kill you, and it's just not going to be fun. Granted, to deal with it, just play wide so that there's more targets on the board. But just imagine a full board on both sides, and then both of these ping one leader. That one leader will probably just uninstall the game entirely because of this card. Now, again, that's the extreme case scenario, but the thing is, it's a possibility. This card is very unhealthy. But I see the purpose. It's supposed to be like Swordcraft's comeback mechanic, because there are a lot of archetypes in the game, such as Natura Runecraft, or Machina Bloodcraft, or Hades Shadowcraft, where they work to a win condition, and once it's fulfilled, they automatically win by stalling the game out. Oluon kind of gives Sword that extra, I'm going to take a chance kind of bet. Because let's say, for example, you were so close to getting it, you were so close to winning the game, and now your opponent has got that Hades out. They have like 7 defense left. You're like, God damn, I can't reach him anymore. None of my followers have Storm. You play this card, you hit him face, you win the game. That's the whole point of it. That's the only thing I can see with this card. Do I think it's good? No. Do I think it's hilarious? Yes. Do I think it's healthy? Absolutely not. But because I'm the Swordcraft maniac that I am absolutely going to run this card. Maybe a 1 of, most likely a 2 of. But I will hold one of these guys in my deck because this is impossible to have, you know. Diamond Paladin is a 6 play point 4/5, kind of low on stats. Swordcraft Legendary Commander has Rush, so kind of makes up for the low cost in stats. Enhance 8, gain the ability to evolve for 0, so like many other Swordcraft cards in rotation right now. Where is she? Like Amelia, who also is like for 2 extra play points, evolve the follower. So, which is, again, it's pretty neat. I mean, a lot of Swordcraft cards are great with it. But the cool thing with this card is that for 6 play points, during your turn, whenever this follower attacks and destroys an enemy follower, if this follower is not destroyed, recover 2 play points and gain the ability to attack twice per turn. Now, if you manage to attack 2 weenies with this guy or with this girl, it's essentially like kind of like a mini board clear. Like, if there's 2 assembly droids on the board, you play this guy, you kill twice, you recover 4 play points, and now you can evolve, you can play something else and then evolve that, which is great. Like, you have a decent board now. You have an amazing board with a 4 attack body and something else to back it up. It's good. I like it. As well as the evolve effect as well is even better. Because if you evolve, you essentially kill a follower without even having it to, like, most likely not having the Diamond Paladin ever taking damage. Which is great. Like, see, this is what Control Forestcraft wish it had. But yeah, I like this card. I don't know how many, like, maybe I see it in Evo Sword, but I most likely see it in just general mid-range Sword. Other than that, I don't see anything else with it. Prudent General is a 4/3/4 gold card. Has nothing when played. It's just a straight up body. With full Evo stats and an evolve effect. Give your leader the following effect. At the end of your turn, summon a steel-clad knight. Is not stackable, lasts for the rest of the match. So, essentially, you get a 2/2 at the end of your turn, which, it's okay. It's pretty good. If your opponent doesn't deal with it, then that means you have free reign with it. It's not as good as the Bloodcraft version of it, where you get an assembly droid at the end of your opponent's turn, which means that you can actually use it. But a 2 play point body is nothing to your opponent just can ignore every turn. Like, that's a 2 play point card that's sticking there consistently. So, in my opinion, it's not a terrible card. In fact, with Swordcraft and how it used to play, where, again, the whole board presence thing for Sword was so essential, like, having Steelclad Knights just constantly pop up is actually pretty good. So I like that. Decisive Strike. Deal X damage to an enemy follower. X equals the attack of the highest commander follower in your hand. This card is awesome. I love it. Especially since there's a lot of cards out there that can, you can actually tutor commander followers, which is really neat. And the cool thing is, it's 1 cost. A 1 cost spell that deals X damage, like, direct, which is amazing, really good. And then Enhance 5, deal with everything. So, it's Cyclone Blade, but better. Or, I can't remember if it's Cyclone Blade. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where you needed a body on board and then it deals everything around it. But this is better because, 1, you don't even need that body on board, and 2, it hits only enemy followers, which is fantastic. Because I will say, Swordcraft has absolutely no board clear whatsoever. But it does have board presence, which is, again, its whole purpose in life. Anyway, so here we are. This is all new to me. I've never seen any of these cards before. So, Empress of Serenity. Sword Silver Commander Follower, 3/2/2. Summon a Shield Guardian. Enhance 5, summon 3 instead. Enhance 10, give every single one of them +3/+3. Okay. And Shield Guardian is a 1/1 with Ward. Well, at least we see this guy. This is a token card that only used to be from the Front Guard General, but now we have another version of him, which is neat. So, for 3 play points, you get a 2/2 body with a 1/1 ward. For 5 play points, you have a 2/2 body with 3 of the 1/1 wards on board. In my opinion, that's kind of weak. You can easily deal with that. Enhanced 10 is you have your 2/2 body, but then you have 3 4/4 bodies with ward. As a defensive card, it's not bad. But this seems more take 2 than anything, because I don't really see it being used in any other way. I mean, it's built to be defensive, yes. But it doesn't really accelerate your win condition or anything. I will say, though, this does improve rally. Remember, we have to keep in mind that rally is a thing. So 3 Shield Guardians essentially builds up your rally token. So maybe there's rally effects that we haven't seen that might be useful here. So I will remain fine. I'll be happy to see what they come up with that. Oh, here we go, rally. Okay, so Ernesta's back, yay! Ernesta, Weapons Hawker, Swordcraft, 1/1/1. Fanfare, rally 10. Put a Dreadhound into your hand. What the fuck is that? A Dreadhound is a 1/4/4. Holy crap! With Bane Ward, give a random Ernesta last words, deal 4 damage to random enemy follower. Okay, it's okay. It's all right. I mean, if you start off with Ernesta, though, it's kind of iffy. It is this card would have been nice to go with Leisha, but I'm not gonna bag on this card. It is unfortunate that it is just a 1 play point 1/1, which is not really good, especially if you don't really have any extra effects with it. But let's say, for example, you play this. Hang on, wait. Is it free, by the way, the Dreadhound? No, it's a 1 cost. Okay, so let's say you play 10 followers. So by that time, for 2 play points, you get a 5/5 body, one that has Bane and Ward, so again defensive, and the other where you can just run Ernesta into something to then deal 4 damage to something. I can kind of, again, it's another one of those board control based kind of cards. Cool. At least they proved me right. The whole thing with this is to rally up and then rally. Shield Phalanx, Swordcraft, silver card, 2 cost spell. Summon a Shield Guardian and a Knight. Rally 15. Holy shit. Oh god, this is going to be fun. So rally is going to be Swordcraft's thing. Summon a Front Guard General instead of a Shield Guardian. But you still summon a Knight. Whoa, hang on a minute. Whoa. Wait. You summon a 2 play point Front Guard General? Holy shit, that's sick. That's really cool. Holy shit, that's kind of neat. Okay, I'm starting to appreciate that. Neato. Okay, cool. I like this. I like this card because Swordcraft can produce a lot of followers. There's a lot of token cards that they can summon along with them, and along with Diamond Paladin, you can play more things. I like it. This is good. Okay. I'm coming up with ideas in my mind. I don't mind this. This is a good card. 9 bronze, selfless noble. Swordcraft bronze commander. Fanfare, discard a card, gain XX. X equals the original cost of the discarded card. Big body, does nothing else, discards a card, so you can discard sword if that's ever a thing. Gain XX. X equals the cost of the discarded card. So if you discard the fattest of bodies, let's say you discard an Impact General, you've got yourself a 15 follower. Unless the opponent has absolutely goddamn nothing on the board. The only reason this card is shit, it doesn't do anything until turn 9. It's a dead card in your hand. It can be discard fodder, yes. Like, you can discard itself, but again, if it's discarding itself, then you're waiting till turn 9. But you can use it as discard fodder. So, alright, okay. Maybe. Oh, but actually, no. This card is actually kind of insane because it's a commander card. Now, as a commander card, Decisive Strike becomes fucking insane because that's a 1 deal 9 damage. And then Enhanced Fire deal 9 damage to everything. Okay. Well, it has one tiny use. I would only ever play this as like a 2 of at most. I would never play 3 of these. And if anything, maybe optimally I'll have a 1 of this. Just so that the Decisive Strike has a use. Because it doesn't do anything. If an enemy has a Destroy or a Bane, it's dead. And you just wasted 9 play points. Ooh, I like the updated Evo effects. That's pretty neat. Strike Lance Knight is the 5/4/5, so decent stats for a bronze follower officer unit. If an allied commander is in play, evolve this follower. Simple. It's kind of heavy though, but it is simple. But the problem is, the thing is though, it is heavy. So that does mean the only thing I can think of that can play alongside this is the 2 play point commanders. Because there's no 1 play point commander. So you can't play this on 6. You have to play it on 7. And Pompous Prince. That's the only commander card here. You can only really play this turn 7. So unless you've managed to keep a commander card on board, this is more of a late game card than anything. And it's still pretty costly. Like 5 play point, Evo point, you get a free Evo and it's a 6/7 rush. Again, maybe, I don't even see Take 2, because again, Take 2 you need to build around it, the fact that you need a commander in play and such, but I do like the art style of it, pretty neat. I'll give it that. Honorable Thief. Oh, rally again, cool. 2 play point, it's a thief with glasses. 2 play point 2/2. Bronze follower officer, fanfare, rally 7, evolve this follower. That's actually really simple to proc. This is a 2 play point 4/4 with rush with the free evolve effect, and then put Gilded Boots in your hand, so you get a 1 cost card that gives you rush. I actually like this card because the rally effect is very easy, especially with sword. You get a free evo out of it. He deals with the board and it has a last swords effect. Couldn't go wrong. I like it. And then finally, we have Pompous Summon. So 1 bronze spell, put a random Swordcraft follower from your deck into your hand. Rally 10. Pompous Princess, how you doing? Put 2 random Swordcraft followers into your hand. It's good. Again, it's a 1 card. It's Insight. Probably not exactly like Insight, but it's card draw for 1 cost. And then you can get 2 later on in the game. So it's like the Dragoncraft card, where if Overflow is active for you for discarding 1 card, you draw 1. Instead, you draw 2 for Overflow. So I like that one. That's a good bronze. Okay, so my thoughts on Swordcraft as a whole. I can see that it's everything from gold and below is essentially kind of focused on this whole rally effect. The Prudent General producing Steelclad Knights again boosts that rally. Decisive Strike only has 1 use, or like 1 overpowered use with this fucker. Empress of Serenity, I don't really see me like using this card a whole lot. I mean, again, you're board flooding, which is typical for Swordcraft to do, but the stats that you get out of it isn't really that fantastic, because they're just 1/1s, which are very easy to trade with. And I mean, the ward, yeah, that's cool and all, but they're just 1/1s. So again, easy to deal with from both spells, AoE especially, and just enemy followers in general can just deal with it. So I don't know about this one, but again, it gives you rally. I don't know if that justifies it. This also in itself kind of rallies itself. I mean, 2 followers getting played, so you get the 15 thing. This is dope. I love this. This card's pretty neat. And other than that, I think that's everything in terms of the new cards. So everything about it is pretty cool. This also will probably be a big key factor for rally decks. This card shouldn't exist, but I'll let it slide. The Summoner Knight would be good with the whole rally kind of thing as well, but it's random, so it's not even going to be like guaranteed that you'll get it. And I mean, this would be cool as a neat pocket. Like, okay, I'm going to try end the game by coin flipping, and hopefully it hits you because I've dealt so much damage to you. Maybe this is good for aggro. Actually, you know what? This is perfect for aggro decks, because you're going to be just hitting them face anyway, and by the time your opponent neutralizes your aggression, they're going to be very hurt, and eventually they're going to have to deal with this. So, I don't know. Maybe aggro can use the chariot, but that's going to have to do with Swordcraft. How I think of it, Evo is still going to be strong. Aggro has got a new fun tool to play with, and Mackin is going to get replaced by Rally. But other than that, I'm 23 Volt, and I'll see you guys next time for Runecraft.